Chapter 49. Kai. Kai stormed through the bushes, leading the way as Leah followed behind him. Rage consumed him.
"Kai, wait up!"
Leah said, her voice coming from behind. She ran up to him, grabbing his arm, but he swung his arm away, confronting her with the face beat red with fury.
"Did you tell her? Did you?"
His voice boomed through the forest, reverberating off the leaves hanging above them. Leah's shoulders slumped as she avoided eye contact, her face twisted with guilt. Her fingers nervously toyed with the edge of her shirt as his disappointment hung heavy in the air.
"Kai, I can explain."
Her tone was one she would use to her son. Like he was an angry child she needed to talk some sense into and calm down.
"Explain what? What logical explanation could you possibly give for willingly putting every person in Hayden at risk? You exposed us to the enemy!"
He seethed with anger at the woman standing before him. He was mad at himself for bringing her back to Hayden, and even more furious at her recklessness when it came to their safety.
"You told the wife of a decree soldier where our camp is. There is nothing you can explain."
Leah stopped, her face shocked and appalled.
"Look, Amanda is my best friend. She would never do anything to hurt me."
"She is with the decree. How can you not see that?"
Flabbergasted, he searched the sky for answers to rationalize her thoughts. "She is no longer your friend. Have you thought about the boy?" His rage grew stronger as he turned his back on her, trying to erase her stunned and pained expression from his mind.
"My God, woman, you are supposed to protect your son."
"Amanda would never hurt Adam. She loves him."
He let out a deep grunt from the back of his throat, thinking of Chrissy and the little truck that was now in the hands of this woman's boy. Famous last words. How foolish Leah was to think that people couldn't hurt those they love. To place the most precious gift in the world into the hands of someone unsafe because they love them.
"You are silly, naive woman."
"How dare you?"
Leah's mouth hung open, outraged.
"No, how dare you?"
He stormed, feeling the sky change with his mood.
"You have put your son in grave danger. You yourself said that your ex-husband wants him, and now you've just laid a path of breadcrumbs right to our front door."
He felt the sting of memories of Chrissy, always there, wishing he could go back in time and change the wrongs of the past. But, of course, he couldn't. It was too late for Chrissy.
"Did you see her, man? Did you see him? He is one of the decree soldiers. Yet the two of you are hugging each other and gushing over babies, while in the same breath revealing you saw a slaughtered child in the street."
He turned to her, his dark eyes glaring.
"Make it make sense."
Leah covered her mouth, realization dawning on her face. A wave of guilt crashed over him as he realized the severity of his words. And then again, what use was guilt? She deserved it. The boy's life was at risk. He couldn't let his emotions cloud his judgment, not when their entire community in Hayden was at stake. He thought of Summer, only 16 years old, who killed for her unborn child's life. How dare this woman risk everyone's safety because she trusted her friend? He closed his eyes, picturing Adam, and turned away from Leah, unable to tolerate looking at her. There was no way he was going to let her get away with risking a child's life, even if it was her own child. Especially if it was her own child. The sky was growing darker, and Kai could have sworn he heard a raven cawing somewhere in the distance, as if calling to him, reminding Kai that Chrissy had put Adam in his path for a reason. Twice. Out of all the little boys in the world, Kai had given the truck to Adam all those months ago, the boy who consistently showed up in his life, always in need of protection. Just like Chrissy. It wasn't coincidence that he would bump into the boy twice when he was lost and afraid, at the mercy of his mother's incompetence. He had no choice but to take the boy into Hayden. The very word Hayden caused Kai's throat to constrict with the memory of Chrissy sitting on his lap, promising to create a haven for both him and his mother.
"Daddy too?"
Chrissy would say, playing with the long strands of Kai's hair, so dark in contrast to Chrissy's light brown hair.
"Daddy too,"
Kai would say begrudgingly, preferring not to think of Eamon Daxon.
"Oh, I love this Hayden place. I love it, Uncle. When are you going to build it?"
Kai would chuckle, placing his hand on the back of the boy's head and kissing his warm forehead.
"Haven. It's Haven, not Hayden."
Chrissy's small face would scrunch up as he looked at Kai, repeating the words Haven with determination. Despite his efforts, they always came out as Hayden. Kai would say it slowly, moving his lips so the boy would be able to repeat it. Chrissy would place his fingers on Kai's lips, feeling the way the words vibrated on them, and pronouncing it for the little boy to be able to repeat it.
Hayden,
he would say every time, his mouth moving with Kai's. Kai would laugh, hugging Chrissy close to him, feeling his little heart against his, the smell of his hair lingering under his nose.
Hayden it is,
Kai declared as Chrissy's voice repeated the word over and over again. He would wrap his arms around Kai's neck, his little cheek pressed against his, and they would stay like that, unmoving, cheek to cheek, as the boy chatted about everything under the sun. Kai would have done anything for that boy. Anything, and yet it was still not enough. And now that boy had led him to another. Adam. Giving Adam the truck changed everything for Kai. It cracked open that wall of grief that was nailed so tightly shut that he could not breathe or function. The only thing he could do was work on Hayden, build the safe place he'd promised Chrissy. That was Kai's salvation from the loss that consumed him. Building Hayden. That is exactly what he did. And now, Adam was part of it too, and somehow, it felt like it was all coming together. Chrissy had shown him the way, and in Kai's very soul, he believed he had made the path clear. Hayden and Adam. He looked up to the sky, the clouds rolling in dark and menacing, and swallowing back the rock that always formed in his throat when he thought of Chrissy. The raven called out once more as a beam of sunlight pierced through the dreary clouds. In that moment, the raven soared through the sky with its wings outstretched, catching and reflecting the sun's rays. He felt Leah beside him, her hand touching his arm, and glanced at her, surprised. She was shorter than him, but not by much. Her long blonde hair trailed down her back, just as his long dark hair did. They both stood looking up at the raven as it flew circling around them, calling out to them.
A raven.
Leah spoke in a gentle tone, but he didn't move. He kept his gaze fixed on the raven soaring overhead. His anger was calming, his thoughts becoming more grounded as he watched the bird, feeling himself walking from a long dark sleep, finally coming back to life. He listened as Leah's voice continued.
Every time something important happens in my life, I see a raven.
He looked down at Leah, her smooth face and blue eyes locking onto his. A strong cord of connection that confused him felt like it was tethering them together, regardless of how much he fought it.
Your spirit animal?
She nodded knowingly.
I've always thought so, even though I'm not exactly sure why.
It happens with us all. We all are drawn to our spirit guide. It just is the way it is.
Kai spoke, unable to pull himself away from her face.
Most just don't pay attention and call it coincidence.
Kai?
She lightly brushed her fingertips against his arm, sending a jolt of warmth and tingling through his body. He didn't know if he wanted to pull away, be repulsed, or hold on to her with an iron grip.
I don't want to talk about it, Leah. You don't know the implications.
I am sorry, but I trust Amanda.
He wondered how Leah could be so naive, despite all she had been through and the harsh reality of their current life. He took a deep breath, the weight of the world pressing down heavily on him, and watched as the raven flew away, giving its last reminder call as it went. The woman frustrated him to no end, but he knew she was in his life for a reason. Leah was Adam's mother, so he had to protect her too. They stood there for a moment, watching the raven fly farther and farther away until it was just a black speck in the sky before turning to leave and heading back to Hayden. Finding Yasmin was no longer an option. They needed to get back to their people. He'd have to bury the hatchet with Chris so that they could come together and increase training. Lonnie brought Chris and Summer to Hayden. Kai brought Leah and Adam. Leah brought Yasmin, and now this Amanda and her husband John. Hayden's exposure put them all in danger, and they did it to themselves.